What's going on, guys, and welcome back to LOI Fan TV. In today's video we're going to be doing episode 3 of our Future Star series. In today's video we are looking at Bohemians and Irish under-21 international Ross Tierney. But before we jump into the video, guys, if you do go on to enjoy it, please make sure to drop a like on it down below. It really does mean a lot. If we can hit around the 50 mark, that would be fantastic. And if you haven't done so already, please do subscribe. A lot of content coming in the near future, a lot of good stuff coming, so make sure to stick around for all of that. And lastly, guys, make sure to comment down below the player you want me to do in the next episode of the Future Star series. We've previously looked at Dawson Devoy, Johnny Kenny, and now Ross Tierney. So who is next? It can be from within the LOI, outside the LOI. Usually kind of one of the most liked comments is the one I will go for. So yeah, make sure to leave a comment down below. But yeah, nothing else to do but to jump straight into the video. Ross Tierney is a 20-year-old attacking midfielder for Bohemians. As I said, he kind of plays in that number 10 role. I kind of touched on Bohemians' structure and how they lay out their midfield when we did the first episode on Dawson Devoy, where Dawson Devoy kind of plays in that double pivot. He kind of plays as that deep line playmaker, whereas Ross Tierney plays ahead of him in that number 10 role. And there's a good reason for that. He's kind of a goal scoring midfielder. He's more of a goal threat than Dawson Devoy, and we'll kind of get into the stats and stuff behind it later on in the video. But yeah, you'll come to see why it is that Keith Long does operate with Ross Tierney ahead of Dawson Devoy, because it is maybe a position Dawson Devoy wants to play in that 10 further forward, but there is a very, very good reason why Ross Tierney plays in that 10 role. Just jumping back to Ross Tierney's schoolboy career quickly, it was with St. Kevin's boys. He joined Bohemians under 17s then in 2018. A great pic, I put it on screen now, of him with Danny Mandrew when they were both at St. Kevin's, side by side, of them both playing for Bohemians then as well. I thought that was a really cool picture, and it looks like such an age gap between them, but there's only what, a year or two, I think. So yeah, it's a really, really cool picture, I thought. But yeah, he kind of made his breakthrough into the senior team for Bows in 2020. Picked up an assist in the 8 games that he featured in. A couple of them were off the bench and stuff like that as well. Obviously a weird season to come into with the COVID and stuff like that as well as a factor. But yeah, he did make his breakthrough and impressed a lot of Bows fans in that time, and impressed Keith Long. And he's been trusted with a starting spot this season, and his stats this season have been really, really good. He's burst onto the scene in 2021. A superb return from the 15 games he's featured in. He's scored 4 goals and he's got 7 assists. So 11 goal contributions in 15 games. Fantastic return from the 20-year-old. He does contribute to goals more than Dawson Devoy, so there is that is why he is held further forward, but they do work really well together. It's so exciting for Bohemians to have these two players playing alongside each other. Really exciting prospects. It's going to be really interesting to see how they keep going for the rest of the season, how they perform for the rest of the season. They're keeping the likes of Bastian Harry out of the side. Connor Livingston a lot of the time is out of the side as well, so it just shows you the quality that the two young lads have and the trust that Keith Long has in them as well. This is kind of a funny one as well in terms of Ross Tierney, right? Because a couple of the lads, me and a few of the lads that are involved in the channel play Football Manager, very popular game, and a lot of these might play it as well. And there's a thing called a Raumdeuter, translating to German as a space investigator. So basically, it's not quite a playmaker, some way short of a striker, not blessed with extreme qualities of power or technique, and it's kind of invented as this is Thomas Müller's position. I'm sorry to define. It was kind of invented to describe his position. So it's like, yeah, I thought that was a good example of describing what Ross Tierney is like, because he's not quite a striker, but I wouldn't describe him as a playmaker, and the way he moves into space is kind of like that. It's hard to compare because the name was kind of invented for Thomas Müller, for him, because it was so hard to define. But his talent, of course, and the way he plays is so kind of unique to him that it's kind of hard to trap players under that exact kind of description. But I think Ross Tierney does play in this kind of role. It's kind of what he plays in that number 10 area. I think it's a really good description of how he plays. His interpretation of space across the pitch leads to so many advantageous situations for Bohemians. He's really difficult for defenders to pick up a lot of the time. He drifts from his position a lot of the time as well, looking for different areas of the pitch and different opportunities to kind of exploit. We'll go through some of the goals that he's scored this season, and I'll give you a better idea of where I'm going to come from with this. Feel free to do your own little bit of research on a Raumdeuter, and let me know if you think Ross Tierney fits that kind of description, because I think it fits it pretty well, and I'll be intrigued to see what you guys think. We will go and take a look at the 4 goals that Ross Tierney has scored for Bows this season. His first came in the game against Longford Town at Dalymount Park. It ended in a 2-2 draw, but he actually put Bohemians 2-1 up or sorry, 2-0 up at the time actually. So the ball kind of, Rory Feely works it back and it's a ball into the box, and you can kind of see it works its way, and it's kind of hard to notice it, but it's a really, really composed, good finish from Tierney there. Kind of a snapshot, but takes it so well, and takes it so quick. And I was really impressed with that goal. That the finish is expertly taken, and yeah, it just shows you that he gets into the box. He likes to get into the box, and a large proportion, that's one of the goals he scored on the ground, but a large proportion of the goals he does score actually come from his head. He's not even that tall of a player, like he's not that tall, but his movement in the box is expert, really good movement, and he creates space for himself, and the ball finds its way to him a lot of the time, and he heads it home. And we're going to see a couple of goals now coming up, and this Shamrock Rovers goal, his next goal, is a prime example of it. I'm going to slow it down a little bit at some stage, but you see the way Georgie Kelly's spraying the ball from distance there. Ross Tierney's playing as a striker. Look at Ross Tierney here, he kind of gets on the ball, gets the ball from Keith Watercourse, lays it off, but Georgie Kelly's dropping deep and playing it, and he goes beyond Georgie Kelly. It's really well worked from Bowes, and you can see, but it's slowed down, that Ross Tierney peels off towards the back post. Lee Grace doesn't see him there. Great ball towards the back post, and he heads home, but Lee Grace just didn't notice him at all. He peeled off so perfectly, so expertly, created so much space for himself, and headed home. It was a fantastic goal, and I really like that one. And yeah, as I say, now Georgie Kelly kind of drops. It gives him the option to kind of drop off, because Georgie Kelly's distribution isn't that bad, and he gives him that option to drop in. And Ross Tierney will go beyond them at times, so he is kind of like a forward player as well. But yeah, in that number 10 role, he works hard defensively, Ross Tierney. His stats, we'll go into his stats in a little bit, but his stats defensively are very, very good as well. He works hard in both regards, going forward and going back, but he does get beyond Georgie Kelly a lot of the time as well. We'll get on to Ross Tierney's next goal, obviously against Finn Harps. This one, James Talbot launches it forward. It's poor enough defender, probably should win that header, do better there, but Liam Burt gets it. You can see Ross Tierney on the right side of the picture peeling off to the back post. It's a good ball in towards him, and he finishes it expertly, but the movement, just to create that space, create that yard of space, break free from the centre half for player marking him, is superb. Really, really clever player, and makes that space for himself in the box. Because a lot of his goals are, you can call them tap-ins or little like close range finishes, but there's a reason that they are. His movement is expert. Really, really good player and clever player, and works so hard for the team. His next goal came for Bohemians against Waterford, his 4th goal of the campaign so far. I'm sure there'll be many more to come, but the ball into the box from the corner, and it's I think it's a little bit of a scramble, but it's some leap on him, like the header there, really, really good header to head home. Great celebration as well, but just really good header of the ball, and gets into those areas of the pitch, and he has a good leap. He's a threat from a wide range of different scenarios that can occur on the pitch, and I really do like him in that regard, in terms of in the box. So clever. When the Irish Under-21 squad was announced, Ross Tierney was one of the names that people were kind of nearly expecting to see due to his really, really good start to the campaign, and he was very unfortunate to miss out on the original squad. A dropout from Bohemians teammate Dawson Devoy did mean that Ross Tierney was called upon to replace him, and he took the opportunity, brilliantly scoring on his debut. And it's more of the same from Ross Tierney in regards to what we've been looking at previously. You get an example of it here with Tyreek Wright, really powerful runner down the left hand side, but Ross Tierney, you can see him peeling off. The way he peels off is so good, pointed to where he wants the ball and heads home expertly. Such a good clinical finish, but to see where he peels off, he's pointing to where he wants the ball. So clever in his movement, and it's so impressive, so impressive from him at 20 years of age to have that instinct, those instincts to be able to create that yard or two of space that you need in the box, and for defenders to lose track of you, making those late runs into the box. It's such a skill that not many players have, and he has it in abundance, and I think he's going to score many more goals this season. He's a real threat. We've mentioned him in every video so far, every Future Star video, but we're not going to stop now. Player stat data, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Make sure to go drop them a follow on Twitter. Really good platform for looking at stuff on different players and different stats on players in the League of Ireland. But he did make it into, similarly to Johnny Kenny, the player stat data, under 21 team of the season. This was after 7 games, so the first 7 games of the season, and they called him arguably one of the standout performers across the league. They say he has a very rounded stats output across defensive and attacking metrics, the highest progressive regain percentage in his team of 93%. He regains loose balls and intercepts passes, and then in an attacking sense he has a solid 55% shot efficiency rate and created 3 chances and established possession on 20 occasions. So the stats back up what I've been saying so far in terms of what he puts into the game defensively. If Bo's on the back foot, I remember watching him at Oriole Park, and defensively he was superb, puts in so much hard work, but then he gets up and gets into the box, arrives late, really clever runs into the box, and he gives Bohemians so much playing in that number 10 role, and the midfield three of Dawson Devoy in the kind of like the deep line playmaker role, keep Buckley beside him then in kind of like a ball winning box to box midfielder role, and then Ross Tierney ahead of him in that kind of attacking midfield number 10 position, where he can give them, they can turn into a tree, and he can give them a lot of support when they don't have the ball, but then he gives Georgie Kelly nearly a strike partner when they have the ball, when they're maybe the more dominant side in possession. So yeah, he offers Bohemians so much versatility in that position, and he's honestly just an absolutely fantastic prospect for the future. Guys, have you seen much of Ross Tierney this season? Bows fans in particular, what have you thought of him? Was he unlucky to miss out on the Irish under-21 squad initially? I thought he was, personally, definitely. I was expecting them to see him there, definitely. But yeah, let me know what you have thought of him so far, and make sure to leave a comment down below with the future star that you want me to look at next. It can be from within the League of Ireland, it can be outside the League of Ireland, whatever you guys want, and make sure to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. Really do appreciate it, guys. Do subscribe if you are new around here, it is much appreciated. Thanks very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in a bit.